Immerse in the profound wisdom of the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, ancient verses, revered as a pinnacle of devotion and spiritual awareness. Under the guidance of His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda, plunge into the infinite ocean of this revered scripture. Discover its hidden truths. Embrace its transformative power. Awaken to new realms of divine love and spiritual awareness. The depths are calling. The deeper you dive, the more treasures you'll discover. And now, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
कंस्य चाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुं ओम Shandilya Bhakti Sutras. This is chapter 1 and part 2. Sutra number is 10. Sage Sandilya continues to give more insight into devotion, the nature of devotion. Devotion has been already defined as Atma Rati. Rati means taking delight in Atma, the self, a process that transcends all types of delights. Paranurakti. The more you love, the more you get attached. The more you get attached, the more you love. That's relating to God. But in the realm of ignorance, the more you get attached, the more you become helpless. The more you get helpless, the more you get attached. The experience of thrill and joy diminishes, wanes. The 10th sutra, Sa Mukhyetar Apekshitatvat. The sages were very miserly, you see, when they wrote sutras. Bhakti is the primary means. Sa refers to bhakti. Mukhyetar. It is primary, related to other means. There are other means. I will explain. Bhakti is the primary means because all others depend upon it. So the path leading to God realization, 4 yogas have been highlighted. Karma, the yoga of action. Bhakti, yoga of devotion. Dhyana, yoga of meditation. And Jnana, yoga of reason, intellect. Of these 4, bhakti is innate. You are born with it. Even prior to your being born, you looked for your parents up in this celestial realm. Led by your karma, you are drawn to your parents. Behind all that movement, there is a love. If we look at it from a very dispassionate way, things are not as rosy as they appear, which means a person is single, he gets married. He is happy, but they begin to look for a child. No one should take it negative. In the process of getting a child, there are so many possibilities. The child may be abnormal. So many things may happen. Even the mother is at risk. In spite of all that, there is an overwhelming type of love. The human mothers have manuals for study. The vast animal world doesn't know anything about it. It's their instinct. They go through intense suffering. All mothers go through. But they don't write it down on their diary to show the diary to the child as he grows up. Because all those are expressions of love. So the total experience of a mother is being grateful to the child, to have given the opportunity to love. So it is innate. Everything else you have to learn how to do, how to meditate, how to learn philosophy. Everything else you have to do it. But something came with you innate. It has been with you through all your journey through the world process, through countless lives. Allow your imagination to work. Imagine you were a bird. You look at the mama bird. Only one look. It gets impressed in your mind. The mama bird has to go far away to find some food for you. And a whole crowd of birds come in. But the mother bird exactly reaches the mama bird, the child, and the child, the young one, recognizes the mother. Who taught it? That profound quality exists in every soul. And bhakti is to allow it to unfold, blossom. Allow it to become more and more revealing. Allow it to, just like the sun reveals itself as clouds begin to move away. Allow that love to blossom. Their direct approach of repeating the divine name, offering prayers, and allowing your feeling to flow to God. There is a direct approach. The direct approach is being restricted by different type of karmas and complexes in the mind. And therefore, there is bhakti sadhana. You have to practice day by day. Not to create a new something that you didn't have, but to allow that which was already there to reveal itself. So, karma, dhyana, jnana, works you do, they don't create bhakti. They simply purify your heart. Karma yoga. You remove the impediments, impurities from your heart, anger, greed, etc. The moment they move away, your love expands. Therefore, all saints are cosmic in their compassion. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. As long as you don't have that attainment, yeah, I like people to be happy, but let me count who. There's always. Those people in my country, let them be happy. People who live with bears and others, why should they be happy? But that type of attainment is the goal of all religions, to be a Christ, to be a Buddha, to be Krishna, Rama, saintly person, saint. And that's what you are born for. And that's in that state your love has expanded. Clouds have moved away. You didn't acquire it. Knowledge you have to acquire it, and you are acquiring day by day. Many literary words suddenly they pour down from your TV, and then you begin to realize, oh, this word I didn't know before. But when love expresses itself, that idea doesn't come. Oh, I didn't know that I had that type of love. If you develop that, there's no harm. The mind can create an illusion, but it is unfoldment, blossoming, revelation. Atmarati, to give you just a simile to understand the point, is like the seed. Say you are a farmer. You have all the resources in your hand. You have a nice field. You have the nutrients to give to the plant. You have wonderful breeze. You have sunshine. But if you don't have a seed, seed plays the primary role. Love plays the primary role in Bhakti Yoga. Once that love is there, then all these will have good results. That means allow the field of your heart to become more purified. The seed is already there, the love. Meditation plays the part of bringing breeze in. Jnana brings you sunshine. All these are necessary for the plant to grow. But all these cannot create the plant. The plant has to be there, the plant of love, the seed of love. This subtle reasoning was necessary at the time of sage Shandilya. And at any time. Because people do not have a clear understanding. In the realm of knowledge, you are always learning. And when you learn something new in technology, many things change in your life. But in the realm of love, nothing new is being added. Only that which has been covering your love is being removed. Therefore, while in the world, people who are more intellectual, they are regarded with great reverence and awe. But in the realm of devotion, scholarship, and intellectual advancement is little. Therefore, the song of a saintly person, Tahi Ahir ki Chohadiyan, Chachiyan bhar chaach pe naach nachawe. First description is given about yogis who attain amazing powers. In spite of their amazing austerity and power, God stays sulky somewhere far away. And they realize the vanity of all their big attainment. And here comes ordinary village maids, young girls, gopis, cowherd girls. And Krishna, because of their immense purity of heart, they were not ordinary souls. And Krishna danced with them, played with them. And these girls, they would make a chaach, it's a buttermilk. And the chachiya is a very shallow type of a dish. They're not very generous either. They put little chaach, little. And they take it, bring to Krishna, who is just a young boy. But the very sight of him brings a joy that cannot be described. Those gopis had the prema drishti, the vision of love. That's the highest attainment. And so they dramatize that. They show the little, and Krishna dances and he says, "Oh, do tell me what I have to do to get it." And the more the process delays, greater is the fun. To understand the beauty and the majesty of that love, that's the great challenge in the study of Bhakti Yoga. You'll find a reflection of this in Song of Solomon. The entire song seems like an amorous song. God is this object of infinite love. And that love is innate in every soul. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. All things that become lovable to you in the world. And people develop a very beggarly mind. How can I get them? But what you should understand, that it is you who is giving that value. What makes them lovable is the self in you. So you are not to beg from them. They are begging from you. The whole world becomes lovable because of the self. So the greater the unfoldment of the love, greater is your closeness with the self, until it reaches the state of self-realization, God realization. Prakaranat cha, 11th Sutra, turns its attention on a statement made in Chandogya Upanishad. Sava esha evam pashyan evam manvana evam vijanan atmarati atmakrida atmamithuna atmananda sava esha swarat bhavati. He who sees thus, understands thus, who delights in the self, sports in the self, communes with the self, enjoys bliss of the self, and thus he becomes swarat, self-effulgent. In interpreting this verse, confusion enters. Is this attainment, the attainment of swarat, self-effulgence? Swarat is absolutely free of all dependence. You are the only one, non-dual, infinite. What leads one to become that? Again, become term is figurative. To realize I am that. What leads one to do that? The general idea is knowledge. Try to know about Brahman. Allow your intellect to work, to listen, reflect, meditate. Shandilya says that in spite of doing all that, the divine love is not created. It's not the result of all the practice. All that practice goes on removing impediments, veilings, obstructions. The ultimate end is reached when bhakti reaches its climax. Bhakti, devotion. This mantra begins with Pashyanyevam, he who sees God. The term seeing refers to acquiring knowledge. Knowledge in the way you know it. When you want to learn about something, you use your senses, use your mind, use your your intellect to understand what it is. Each time we speak of knowledge here, we are not talking about intuitional knowledge. It's general concept of knowledge that relates to intellect. What Shandilya is leading you to understand that Atmarati, love for the self, is innate. It is love of the self that goes on expanding as you engage yourself in learning, satsanga, or practice of different types of yoga. With the waxing process of divine love, these terms become important. Atmarati. You are all the time delighting in the self. Atma Krida. You are all the time sporting in the self. Atma Mithuna. You are all the time united with the self. You are immersed in Atmananda, absolute joy. All this is not the result of knowledge, the result of love. This doesn't mean that you should look down upon study of scriptures and trying to understand. It simply means that the process is simpler than what you are thinking. In order to pass an examination with a difficult subject in hand, you need to read a lot. But for passing the examination of this world process, you have to forget what you have read. As love expands, all the whispers of intellect are silenced. There's nothing to know. Touch of love is more profound, innate. Darshan phalamiti chetna vyavadhanat. The same statement is being discussed further in the passage which we have quoted from Chandogya Upanishad. It cannot be said that bhakti is the fruit of knowledge. So the sentence moves on and it reads like as if bhakti has emerged as a result of your knowing God. You're touching Him. Human touch term is within the realm of knowledge. Why? Because the word sah intervenes. Sava esha swarat bhavati. While describing so many words, there is an introduction to the simple word sah. Sah means that. That referring to one who has a developed devotion, Atmarati, one who delights in loving the self. It is he who experiences all these higher levels of bliss. Drishtatvat cha, from observation also, in normal day-to-day life. As I have already cited the illustration of a child turning to the mother. It is not the knowledge of the mother that inspires the child to love the mother. Later, as the child grows up, his intellect advances, he will realize there are many mothers who know much more than his mother. But that wouldn't make any difference in his love. His love is not dependent upon the knowledge that you gather. In human love again, young people who are marrying, two elements are there. If parents are arranging the marriage or if they themselves are arranging their marriage. First aspect is collect knowledge. When was he born? What has he done? But no matter how fabulous the person is, love doesn't well up. It is something different. It is not mathematically proportional to knowledge. Knowledge is something different. So therefore, don't equate knowledge and devotion. Each has its own role to play. A devotee like Shabari can't recite the mantras of the Upanishads. She might have, but she does present all bare fruits to Rama. Every fruit she has picked up, she has put her tooth mark on it. It's a highly mystical story. Just to those who don't know, I'll give you a little story of that. Shabari was born in a village tribal family. She was ready to be married to a young man. But during that time, her father arranged for so many goats to be sacrificed, to have a big feast. And she saw that. The goats pleading not to be sacrificed. That's the freedom of the storyteller. You can't just step up and say, how did you know that? She ran away. She didn't see anything interesting in the project of getting married with all the big ceremony. I went to an ashram and somehow became, in the beginning, the ashramites didn't welcome her. But gradually she proved herself to be a great devotee, and Guru there encouraged her and gave her a prediction that one day Rama will cross your path. One day Rama will become a visitor on the path of your sight. This is a mystical language, which means your eyes create a field. Anything that comes in that field is a visitor, an atithi, a guest. The entire world comes to you like guests. But to have Rama as a guest, allow your vision to have that experience of having touched Rama, having seen Rama. All the other words, you don't touch, don't see, it's an experience of divine love. Since then, Shabari, when she heard this from her Guru, every day she began to prepare for Rama's visit. She would sweep the path, try to put some petals on the path so that it's not so prickly, etc. Pick fruits. To be sure, the fruits have sweet taste. She would punch her tooth into each and put it, wait from morning till night, then throw it away without any stress in her mind that how much has been wasted, he didn't come. But only thing sustains her, the Guru's words, he will come, which will not go in vain. She does it every day. Now, you have to understand, all these stories are told as something symbolic. The message is not exactly to go on doing the same thing. The message is to understand that you are in a form. Every action that you perform has two components. One is you are creating a path. Your path that you create The path before you should be filled with petals. So don't create a karma that is made based on anger, hate, etc. The Rama's foot is very soft. And fruit that you expect from the world, pleasure, pain, all that, you should put your tooth on it. If it helps you to develop devotion, it is sweet. Put it in the basket, show it to Rama. If it is not sweet. Throw it away. In other words, create positive samskaras, shubha samskaras. Ignore all the negative samskaras. They have nothing significant to give to you. Why to hold on? They are boundless memories of the past. That nature has created a plan. In God's plan, there's tremendous compassion. You don't carry all your grudges and all your bitterness from the past life. You dump it somewhere. If you learn from that, it implies that you go on dumping, if not wait for the death to dump it. Go on ignoring unnecessary impressions, creating more and more positive impressions led by satsanga, good association. And so therefore, day by day you are collecting shubha samskaras and you are paving the way, creating divine qualities, putting roses, soft petals on the path. And there is a divine security, Guru's word. One day he will. So therefore there is no despair. If he didn't come today, he didn't come tomorrow. Shabari didn't know the difference. It is dramatized that other aspirants used to say, "Oh Shabari, what are you doing? So many years have passed and Rama didn't come." Don't be blind, just stop it. Shabari enjoyed it. This is the path of devotion. Contrasted from the path of knowledge, where every day you are calculating how much have I done, how much more I have to go. Should I use algebra? Should I use advanced mathematics? 14th, Ataeva tadabhavat vallabhinam. Therefore, gopis attained God realization in spite of their want of knowledge. In recent times, Ramakrishna was not a scholarly person. Ramana Maharshi was not a scholarly person. And their greatest scholars flocked to him. And when Jesus talked on the Mount, Sermon on the Mount, nothing scholarly there. Simple words. So the greatest of teachings have come down not in a scholarly fashion, it's not a result of tremendous scholarship, but as a result of a heart that has experienced love of God by just giving him some tooth-marked bare fruits. Tooth-marked bare fruit means karmas that you do with that type of mystic evaluation. I'm offering it to God. But each time when you develop that idea, I'm going to offer this work I have done to God, there is a little tooth mark onto it. First you determine yourself, is it offerable? If a thief steals something, so I'm doing this work, I'm offering to God. That will not be possible. Only when you do something good that you can be proud of, then you can step up and say, I offer this. When the spirit of offering enters, automatically your mind turns being the best, pursuing what is Shreya, good. Then only you can go on offering to God. That's what we mean by Putki Tuthmar. So gopis attain God realization. I'll just give you one little parable or rather story, which I have given that to you before. But all satsanga is like that. It's a Gata Parinyaya. The same thing is told again and again. And it applies also to the feast. Same thing we go on eating again. Once Krishna pretended to have a stomachache. Narada approached him and Krishna was not as relaxed as before. So Narada asked him, what's the matter? I said, I have a stomachache. Narada said, this is a very difficult problem. For ordinary people, there are doctors, physicians. For you, which physician should I turn to? He said, the remedy is very simple. All that I need is charanamrit of a devotee. That means go to a devotee and ask the devotee to put his foot into a little bowl of water. Not all of it, just toe. And bring to me and I will drink it. And I will. That's easy. But Krishna said, but you have to tell the devotee these consequences, that whoever gives me water polluted by his foot, he will go straight to hell. So Narada had a very big, strange task. He was excluded. Narada himself was not in that to put his foot out either. So Narada went to devotees and everywhere, when they heard they will go to hell, he said, please, that's not for me. If he is suffering stomachache, that is his business. Narada goes to Radha, the gopi, and she says, Krishna needs charanamrit of your feet. Just here's a bowl of water, put your foot on it, and he needs to drink it, and that will resolve his stomachache. I said, what are you telling all those things? Here on my foot. Bring the bowl. And she didn't even care to dust her foot. It's filled with muck and dust, ready to put it. And Narada said, don't you know, whoever gives this type of polluted water to Krishna, it's a big disrespect and it will lead you to hell. Radha said, what type of lover you are? Hell or heaven, who cares? He's my beloved. And every moment he suffers his tremendous suffering to me. So stop, O Narada, bring that. The subtle implication behind it is, in divine love you are not calculating, am I going to heaven? Am I going to hell? Karmic consideration is transcended. Because even if you were to secure heaven for 1,000 lives, that is not your goal. That's where comes in the first step of understanding on the path of aspirant. The entire achievement led by karma is perishable. It is the realm of pravritti that there is heaven and hell. If you are devoted to God, who cares for heaven and hell? You are going to merge in God. And with this, Om Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.